I'm here with the co-founders of the Know Your Rights Camp, Colin and Nessa. I got both of you guys on the mic right here. Can you believe it?
Yes, this is crazy because, Colin won't talk to anybody. Like, he might end this right now. So really quick, Colin, okay, hold on, before he wraps this interview up. The inception of the Know Your Rights Camp started in 2015. We were there to see it. For you, how did it happen, and why was it important for you to create this family that we have here?
Well, the creation of Know Your Rights Camp started after the execution of Mario Woods in San Francisco. And it came out of our conversation together of what can we do to try to stop this from happening? Mm-hmm. What can we do to try to help black people get home safe? So we thought about, hey, if we teach them their legal rights, can it help them navigate a situation to just get home? And it's not a responsibility or onus that we should have to take upon ourselves, but it's just the reality of what we need to do to make it home. And as we were building and discussing the idea, it was like, it's not a great concept to build upon to say, hey, here's how to not die. Mm. So we built the other programming to lay the foundation of, here's the history of your community and black people in this country and in your city. And then we'll teach you your legal rights within your state, within your region. And then we'll teach you holistic health and financial self-defense and how to get into higher education and tech. So how do we teach our communities how to thrive and be well-rounded in how we can thrive, and then build community around that?
How much work goes behind this?
The behind the scenes work of the teams is incredible. When you show up and come to a camp, it feels like an event, and it's like, oh man,
yes,
this is incredible.
Yeah.
You never have the appreciation for the logistics that go into the behind the scenes.
Yes.
Everything from, all right, where are we going to have the camp?
Right.
Are we going to have the venue? Do we have insurance for it?
Right.
Who's doing the catering?
The lighting.
The
audio.
The lighting.
Josie, right.
Audio. Who has the chairs?
Right.
Do we need tablecloths for the tables?
Right.
Hey, do we have the mics?
Right.
Where are the backpacks being shipped to?
Where are the children going to enter from?
Right.
Everything. Do we have a storage? Like,
right.
Who's getting what wristbands and why?
Right.
Like, those are all things that, like, they don't seem like big things, but all of those things add up into a massive workload.
Yes.
That people have to do, and have to do it at a high level, or it just doesn't work.
Oh, this is high level. We're not talking about
This isn't light. This is high level.
And then you have to think about going out and recruiting organizations and finding youth.
Oh, right.
Gosh.
And because we're dealing with minors, we need to make sure we have the right waivers in place. We're taking the right safety precautions.
We're vetting everybody that comes into the building.
Background checks.
Oh, yeah. It's
like,
a lot.
we want to make sure everybody's safe so they can have a great experience.
For sure.
And also so we can create an environment that they feel is for them.
Right.
That they can open up and hopefully receive and build in.
Right.
Like, to me, that becomes the most important piece. And all of the logistics and planning and all of that behind the scenes is to create that opportunity.
Yeah.
For if it's one youth that walks out.
Yep.
And is like, you know what, I have a different perspective of how this future looks. Who knows where that one perspective change goes? Mm-hmm. So we hope we have many more of those.
Right.
But all of that work is for that one opportunity.
That one. Hoping for that one opportunity. We are here. Okay, it is the day before the camp, and we are so excited. Let me get it right. The Know Your Rights Camp.
That's right.
In Houston.
Houston, baby.
Right now, it's all about the camp, founded by Colin Kaepernick.
And Nessa. What makes the camp so special for you to do?
Oh man, the joy. I think selfishly, to be honest, Katrina, is like obviously when I'm looking around and I'm seeing people that we genuinely love and know and we consider family,
Yep.
our volunteers mean the world to us.
Absolutely.
And we, take the time to get to be with each other. Everybody's coming from different places across the country, sometimes from different parts of the world, to be in one place to take care of the youth, to be just completely engulfed in the community, wherever we're at. One thing I absolutely love is that wherever we go, we connect with local organizations. And that's extremely important because without the connection, we can't have a camp.
That's right.
We're never going to step into a city or a different place without being involved with the community. Everyone who does the work day in, day out, every single day. I mean, that is extremely important for me. So I love that portion of connecting.
Yeah.
Also, when people are happy to see us, right?
man.
When people get the call on the ground, wait, Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Rights camp is coming.
Right.
How can I help?
How much do you think has changed from our first camp in Oakland all the way to this camp in Houston?
I think the number one thing that's changed is that we've created systems, right?
Yes, right,
that have
right.
been extremely helpful
Right,
because
right.
it's been just listen, it's a labor of love.
Absolutely.
Every single person, again, that you see has taken time off from work, has taken time away from their family.
That's right.
Has, been involved not just the day before or the day of the camp, for months.
Yes.
We're having meetings, we're brainstorming, how can we be better? And I would say it's just been a learning process over the years because, listen, we're not perfect. I also want to mention the Know Your Rights camp. We're not hiring third-party production crews or anything like that. Everything you see is us.
Right.
And I really wish I could, let me take me out of it. What you see is everybody else, every single volunteer here. That's the work, right? Putting up the lights, putting the chairs out, getting the tables out, getting the linens for the table out,
Packing
making
the
sure
backpacks.
everything you see has been put together by our family, our volunteers,
That's
right?
right.
So, it's personal. It's very personal.
Literally, my brother volunteers, my
Yeah.
cousins volunteer.
Right.
This is a family type of organization. That's what I really love about the camp. Now,
Right.
Nessa, one more question. If you can describe the Know Your Rights camp in one word, what's the one word you choose?
Love.
Wow, I love
Love.
it. I love it.
Because whether you're a volunteer, whether you're the youth who's in attendance, whether you're a chaperone,
Right.
whoever you are, whatever your involvement is within the camp, you either don't know what to expect before
Right.
you come, but you definitely feel loved by the time
Absolutely.
that you leave. And that's actually the one thing I've heard from youth time and time again as they're leaving and exiting, how thankful they are and that they love us. And a youth told Colin, remember? She stood up and said, like, I feel loved.
That was
This
LA.
is the first time I felt this. And I was like in tears and
Right.
shambles. So ultimately, if you can come and experience the Know Your Rights camp, we just want you to take all the information provided to you by our credible speakers and take all the resources that we provide, and hopefully it can benefit you, not just only you. We hope that you can also benefit others in your community.
That's right. Now, Nessa, we got a lot of setup. We got a lot of stuff to go over.
Right.
So we got people that are coming on the pod. They're going to talk with us about the camp.
But who are the people who are coming to the pod?
Of course. So we're going to have some of our great speakers that have been volunteers before. We have Sean Tory coming
Right.
on. We have Milo Dodson coming on.
Excuse you.
Dr. Milo Dodson. Sorry.
What is wrong with you? Do you not understand how people work so
Dr.
hard to get
Milo.
this title? Say doctor.
We have our senior director of programming
Yes.
for the Know Your Rights camp, Tony Ng. I may or may not know him
Right.
personally.
Everyone who defends Tone because of Katrina
him.
continuously
That's him.
bashing him.
That's right.
Here's your chance to see him on camera.
Right. So another one of our program directors for the Know Your Rights camp, Asani Myers, is going
Right.
to be here. And let's grab some volunteers. Like you said, this is a family environment.
Right.
We've had volunteers who have been with us from 2016 Oakland.
Right. Well, I also want to make a point. While that may have been the first camp in person with humans, the Know Your Rights camp actually was conceived by Colin in 2015.
Yes. And I remember the exact moment, Nessa.
Right.
We were sitting in your living room.
Right. New York City.
New York City.
Right.
I was on the floor because we had like a futon couch.
That was your
And it was a
couch.
studio.
That was your
That was my
your
bed. So we were there. It was me. It was Nessa. It was Colin.
Yeah.
And basically, they were trying to think of what they can do to help the youth not only survive but to thrive. So I was sitting there and I was taking notes
Yeah.
with my red pen.
Right. You
And
still have that book.
I do. And we originally thought maybe an app to help,
Yeah.
people know what their rights were.
Right. That was Colin's original
Right.
idea. and it just morphed and morphed, which, by the way, we do have
Yes,
an
we do.
app which
Check it
we
out.
release. It has, your rights in there,
Right.
how you should conduct yourself within traffic laws. What do you do when you're at a protest? All that to say, download it. It's free. But let's circle back to the original Know Your Rights Camp idea, which Colin thought, okay, maybe it could be an app.
Right.
But, Colin is a very personable person.
That's right.
And he didn't feel like just having an app was sufficient enough. He wanted to be able to connect with people in person, hence the camp.
That's right.
Which is, has morphed into a beautiful way. But, the one thing remains, the love, the joy, the excitement, and the reunion that we all have together selfishly as volunteers to see people we love, just a couple times out the year means a lot.
Absolutely. Means so much. So we're going to get to all them. We're going to have some fun, get comfortable.
Right. I mean, there's still stuff that needs to happen here,
That's
right?
right.
When I say happen, it means there still needs to be packing for people who are listening right now, not really watching. Okay, we have Nike backpacks. Obviously, Colin was able to provide all of this. He made sure that, all the youth receive I Know My Rights t-shirts. And we have books to give away per Kaepernick Publishing. All right. Now, outside of Kaepernick Publishing, we do have some extra books. The one book that completely changed Colin's life, Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X.
That's right.
And, we have a lot of stuff in the backpacks, just other than regular school basic items that you need. Just a lot of information that is vital for the success for someone, in this society, in this day and age. So, and, we have a resource map. And in that resource map, we talk about the, local places that maybe you didn't know before, but a lot of research goes behind it, whether it's, trying to find fresh food. Where can you go? Somewhere within your proximity. Where's a local library? And all these things that maybe we take for granted.
That's right.
It's right there in a resource book.
Love it.
It's literally that, a resource book for you to keep and to use.
That's right.
In previous years, we actually put resource maps in the backpacks. This year, we decided to switch things up and make it digital. And that's because a lot of time the youth are on their phone, right? And I mean, we're all on our phones. So to make it accessible and easy, it's right there on your phone. We're going to provide all this information. And that resource link is going to have all the information you need about what is happening locally. Again, the focus right now for this Know Your Rights Camp is Houston. So actually, here is the backpack assembly line, okay?
Yes.
Now, every single person that you see here, we know these are incredible volunteers.
Check it out.
That take off so much time from work, from their family to be here to prepare for our camp. Remember, it's not just a preparation for the day of the camp, it's getting prepared ahead of time, which is today, by the way. So as you can see, here we are going down the assembly line so that the backpacks get filled. These right here, these are the backpacks that the youth are going to take on their way home. Now, everything they get, they'll get on their way home.
That's right. Absolutely. And Nessa, I don't know if you noticed, all of our lovely volunteers here, Colin is actually packing the backpacks too. So you want me to grab him? I'll grab him.
Yeah, we've been trying to get him on the show
Yeah.
for like ever. And here's the funny thing. He'll do everything to avoid us.
Right.
And so like, how am I supposed to pull him when he's doing what he wants to do
What
right
you do
now?
is say, oh my gosh, baby Cap is crying.
Colin!
Baby Cap is crying.
Baby Cap is crying.
It didn't work. It didn't work.
Come here. Why is he like this? Why
It
is
worked.
this-
I think it
Why?
worked.
Why is Colin like this?
Everybody, please welcome.
Yes, Colin Kaepernick. Okay, so we need.
Baby cat.
It's me. So
Baby Cap.
for people who are listening right now, Colin's making fun of me, calling me Baby Cap as the person who's crying. But anyways, long story short, Colin is now joined with us. He was just helping the assembly line, and that's just what he does every single camp since we've started a camp.
Literally packs the backpack. So I'm actually really excited. I'm here with the co-founders of the Know Your Rights Camp, Colin and Nessa. I got both of you guys on the mic
Can
right
we
here.
hear?
Can you believe it?
Yes, this is crazy because Colin won't talk to anybody. Like he might end this right now. So really quick, Colin. Okay, hold on before he wraps this interview up. The inception of the Know Your Rights Camp started in 2015. We were there to see it for you. Why? How did it happen, and why was it important for you to create this family that we have here?
Well, the creation of Know Your Rights Camp started after the execution of Mario Woods in San Francisco. And it came out of our conversation together of what can we do to try to stop this from happening? Mm-hmm. What can we do to try to help black people get home safe? So we thought about, hey, if we teach them their legal rights, can it help them navigate a situation to just get home. And it's not a responsibility or onus that we should have to take upon ourselves, but it's just the reality of what we need to do to make it home. And as we were building and discussing the idea, it was like, it's not a great concept to build upon to say, hey, here's how to not die. So we built the other programming to lay the foundation of, here's the history of your community and black people in this country and in your city. And then we'll teach you your legal rights within your state, within your region. And then we'll teach you holistic health and financial self-defense and how to get into higher education and tech. So how do we teach our communities how to thrive and be well-rounded in how we can thrive, and then build community around that? So Know Your Rights Camp was birthed out of that. Our first one was in Oakland, California, in 2016,
Right.
which was amazing because even thinking about the first camp, as both of you remember, we had this concept, it had this idea,
Yes.
and it was all of the homies. Like,
Yes.
hey, y'all got mics?
Yeah.
Who got backpacks?
Who got a
All
camera?
right. We got cameras.
Colin, you got the backpacks. You got the shoes.
We got a camera.
Also, shout out to Johnny, your longtime friend from
Yes.
Shoe Palace.
Oh, yeah.
Who has always been dedicated to make sure we had our Know Your Rights shirts. He always helped out in case we needed extra Nike shoes.
Right.
I mean, literally, Johnny, Shoe Palace, which is why I support them so much. It has
Absolutely.
nothing to do with anything else. No, they don't pay me. No, they don't do anything.
Right.
They literally care about the community, whether it is with Know Your Rights Camp or if they're just doing
That's
community
right.
work in general. So I wanted to mention that for sure.
Absolutely. And if you look at majority of our Know Your Rights Camp members,
Every single person we
who
know.
are here, this is everybody that's built over the years.
right.
Know Your Rights Camp doesn't exist without everybody that's here.
Yep.
And it started very organically.
Yeah.
That people wanted to help. How
Right.
can we create that better future? How can we create better opportunities? And we've continued to build upon that. And in the process, we built an incredible family.
What would you want to see for Know Your Rights Camp? Something that you would like it to morph into, improve on? Uh-oh, Katrina's getting nervous.
Improve on, oh my gosh.
Improve on. Like, what do you want to see?
So Katrina, write this down, all right?
I already
Write
have a
this
list
down.
for Katrina. Are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
gosh. I'm going to just
Which
grab my
did-
laptop.
She hasn't still
So,
done this.
so y'all know, she has a list from the original camp.
I do.
So
I do.
2015.
So there's
the
probably a
inception.
video I didn't finish editing back then, but it's okay because we're on to 2023, guys. All right.
So for the future of Know Your Rights Camp, one of the immediate things we want to do is build fellowships off of the camp programming.
Ooh.
Nice.
So around the points that we're teaching within the camp of tech and legal and finance and education, how can we create fellowship opportunities for the youth where not only are they learning the skills, but we are also compensating them for their time?
Wow.
Because
I love it.
oftentimes youth are having to decide, well, I need to help support my family. I need to go get a job. But that becomes at the expense of their long-term development. So if we can help solve both of those problems, we can help them build the skill sets for their future,
Yeah.
but also help them take care of some of the needs that they have right now. So that's one of the immediate things.
Yeah.
One of the other programs that we've talked about for a few years that we haven't brought to fruition yet, but I think we should.
A brilliant mind listening or watching this will help us. Okay.
Yes.
What is it?
Is we always talked about doing a down payment assistance program.
Yes.
Yes. And knowing that there's a generational wealth gap
Yeah.
in black and brown communities in relation to white communities. There was an article, I think a few years back at this point, that was written as the race to zero, which is the net worth of the average black and brown family was continuing to decline. And who was going to hit zero first?
Oh.
So thinking about down payment assistance, the biggest predictor of generational wealth comes from home ownership. So if we can help bridge that gap, that can be a way that we help close that generational wealth gap that we're seeing right now.
I'm excited.
Me too.
I personally I would like to establish possibly a museum.
Yes.
Maybe not that word, okay, because Colin does not like
center,
that.
a
because-
center.
I'll tell you why he doesn't like that, because he feels like that's too much attention on him. And that's the complete opposite of who Colin is. Right. If you know him at all, he wants all the focus on everybody else, on the community. He doesn't want it on him. So I don't say a museum like that where people can't come in. So to your point, Katrina, yes, more of a center.
That's right.
Where it can be a communal space for everybody to thrive in. And, I always am conflicted at where the location would be.
Oh, man.
Because that's really hard. Because Colin is like, there's so many moments for us that are so important.
Right.
For example, like, obviously this started in the Bay Area, right? Oakland, California is very special to Colin and I. To all of us. Katrina, you're from the Bay.
I'm from the Bay.
But also, like, New York. That's where Colin and I met. So, like, also Harlem has a special place for me because of, like, Colin's exploration. I remember when he went to the Malcolm X, when we went to the Audubon Ballroom, and this was during the time that Colin read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and like I know how much that's changed your life. By the way, that's gonna be in the backpack.
That's
Just
right.
as a side note, in case you're listening right now and you haven't caught on to like the rest of the conversation that we're having, preparing for the Know Your Rights Camp, but I'm going to manifest that, and I hopefully will make it happen, because I think it would be great. Imagine, like, a farm connected to it, or gardening.
Urban garden.
Or, yes, urban garden. You could tell, like, I have no idea, like, where to get
holistic health
fruits.
center.
Yes.
Everything.
Ooh, like, where people come get a checkup, and it's free and stuff like that.
Someone to help you with your to-do lists.
Yeah. Oh, Katrina,
No?
you're going to upset me every time you do this.
I have one question, though. Colin, I asked this to Nessa as a co-founder of the camp. You are one of the co-founders of the camp. If you can describe the Know Your Rights Camp in one word, what word would you choose?
Intentional.
Oh, very
intentional.
nice word. So why?
Intentional in the sense of what we're building, why we're building it, who we're building it for, the environment that we create, the volunteers and community that we're building with each other. Like, all of these things don't just happen. We're very intentional about why we're building these things and how we're going about building them. And sometimes that means it might be a little bit slower process.
Right.
Because we know we have to get to the right outcome.
That's right.
And when we think about the work that we do, it's not like other work. If we make a mistake or we're messing up in certain areas, that impact, it may have a little impact on us, but it more so has an impact on the communities that we're trying to help and trying to serve, and the youth we're trying to serve at the camps. So, like, we have to be very intentional in everything we're doing because the outcomes matter so much.
That's great. I have a question. Out of all the camps, was there a particular city that, I don't know, stands out to you, that meant so much, that did something to your soul, and you're just like, wow, it was a special time?
There are moments within different camps.
Okay.
That really stand out to me. So, thinking back to our first camp in Oakland, one of the things that stood out to me is we had a houseless group come in, and they were young. Like, some were elementary school through high school, but they came in very intentional and motivated.
Right. And it was a group.
It was a
their
group.
Chaperones, and they came. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And they came in and they're like, yeah, this is our newspaper. Here, we're talking about decolonization. Like, this is indigenous land. This is what's going. And I was like, yo, this
is amazing. Right.
These are elementary school kids and middle school and high. Like, I was not being taught that. I didn't know that. Couldn't articulate that at that age. Like, that blew me away. On top of them being houseless and being in that situation, just was incredible. Yeah. I'll say another moment that comes to mind is in Chicago. And
Chicago was
we had a speaker talking about finance and real estate and like how to get a home. And speaker mentioned like, oh, I have multiple, like you can buy multiple homes. And I remember one of the youth standing up being like, well, wait, so you can own more than one home? And I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, okay, well, how do I help the community do that?
Oh, yeah, that was...
So even in that moment of seeing opportunity, like he wasn't thinking about opportunity just for himself. He was thinking about opportunity for the community as a whole.
Yeah.
So that was another powerful moment. I think to Baltimore.
Baltimore was
yeah.
special.
Baltimore,
Great energy.
incredible energy, but it was also, it was impactful because it was a learning experience for me.
Right.
That when we do our legal presentation, we include ICE and immigration rights as part of that.
That's right.
And I remember after the camp, Nessa came up and was like, I don't know if you know this, but there was a group that went off
Right.
to, we always have a safe space and a safe room for the
where
youth.
people can meditate, where they can decompress.
And a group of youth went in to that room, and they're excited, they're taking notes, and they're talking back and forth. And Nessa walks in to check on them and is like, hey, I just want to make sure everybody's okay. And they were so excited about the information they got,
Yeah.
but they didn't want to show it in front of everybody else because they didn't know if someone was going to call ICE on them. So it gave me insight into what some of the youth are navigating and what resources or what information is valuable to them.
Right.
And they were trying to think about, how do we get this to all of our family, our community? So that stood out. And then the last one I'll mention is when we were in Vegas for our camp. There were two youth that stood out. As we were wrapping up the day and finishing the scavenger hunt, and those were getting graded, I was trying to buy some time. Hey, what stood out for y'all today? Like,
Right.
what are you going to take away from today? And, one young man stood up. He was like, what I take away is, even though we live in a broken system, doesn't mean we have to be a broken people.
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
man, that's profound, especially coming from someone who's in high school.
Right.
And then the second one was a young woman who stood up and was like, the thing that I'm going to take away from today is, I know there's people out there that love me.
That was the moment I was
That was the
reminiscing
moment.
on.
That's right.
That was
Nessa
important.
mentioned that moment too.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful and painful moment.
Right.
Like, it made me happy that we created that environment, that she felt that.
Right.
It also was painful in the sense of how many people failed her
Right.
Oh.
over her lifetime.
Yeah.
So, like, those are moments that stand out. There are also moments that they'll never show up on paper.
Right.
They'll never show up in,
Your percentage.
hey,
or
our
whatever.
impact,
Whatever.
or
Yeah.
Number.
we serve this many youth.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it won't show up there,
Right.
but they're very real moments of impact.
Absolutely.
And I think those far outweigh any numbers that we can put on a piece of paper.
That's right.
And for a long time, Colin, you were funding the Know Your Rights camp.
Yes.
And, luckily we got to a place where people wanted to donate and support and help and see the work continue. And what I love, like, literally, I can't say it enough, every single person that you see
Yes.
that is here, they're volunteering their time.
Yep.
And time is something you can never get back.
right.
So, it is a labor of love. And we're always looking for people to build with. And we're always looking for community and family. And
Right.
that's really, really important, I know, for all of us.
That's right.
And Colin, I just can't believe we still had a chance to talk to you today, because like, you're always running off, you're always doing something, you're always busy. I mean, it's, for number 12, this is camp number 12, and to have been doing it for this long, and does
Continuing.
it feel, continuing to do it. Does it feel like it's been a long time we've been doing it? Does it feel like it's been a short amount of time? How does timing work in all this?
My sense of timing is distorted from COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we had a hiatus during that time period. But I will say, as the camps have grown, as our family and team has grown, the camps feel better and better
Right.
as we're going. We're able to refine things to make it better.
Right.
What I'm really excited about is how we're building and setting it up for the future.
That's right.
So the time it's taking us to do 12 camps right now, that's going to be drastically cut down for the next 12 camps that we do.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Which just means more youth that we can impact, more communities we can impact. And we're able to do the work faster to build that better future and better opportunities for everyone.
You know what also, last point, you know what I feel like, not to toot our own horn, that I feel like we've done really well is that when we bring like a guest speaker in, right? Like your longtime friend, Sean Tory, right? You went to school with, you went to college with, right? He's been an educator in the community for a very long time. He became a guest speaker at the Vegas camp, right? And
Yep.
then we just basically just took him
He's a
forever.
volunteer now.
Like he's
part
like
of
our
the
brother.
family.
You're on the road with us.
Right.
We are
taking
we are
it,
great.
man.
We are great at capturing people and just grabbing them and taking them with us.
And so, and here he is now, always with us, coming to every camp. And he is part of the camp. He's
Right.
no longer a guest speaker. He's now part of the camp. He's a volunteer with us.
That's right.
Same with, Aisha, who's going to be emceeing the camp,
Right.
right? As well. I met her through Lower East Side Girls Club and through my internship for Nessa OFF Air. And then she became part of Know Your Rights Camp. She attended it.
Right.
And then we brought her in as a
right.
youth ambassador.
That's right.
And now she's the MC. So what I really love is paying it forward.
That's right.
The people that I, came up with, for example, Katrina, but, Footy, for example, someone that I knew when I was doing radio in San Francisco, right? Someone like Pedro, someone like Mocha, who's here, and people who aren't here today, right? That have played a part in helping with the Know Your Rights Camp. To see everybody evolve is pretty amazing.
It is.
There was a time you and I weren't parents, right? Like I was saying now about Katrina. To see everybody here evolve in their own way is really cool as well. So, and we grow together, and we also aren't perfect. And I think that's the beautiful thing about all our volunteers. They accept us knowing that we're not perfect, knowing that we're trying to figure it out, knowing we're trying to make each camp better than it was the last time we did it. So here we are.
The other thing, just thinking about people that have grown with the camp. I mean, Milo came in as health speaker,
That's right.
and
Right.
now he's continuously been in that role. He's done Know Your Rights podcasts on
Right.
it. We have had B Mike.
Oh, yes.
B Mike originally was, hey, that's the homie.
Yeah, we
like,
love B Mike, his
B Mike
studio in
does
New Orleans. Yeah.
incredible work. We went and visited the studio.
That's right.
Right.
Just to go see what the work he was doing.
Right.
That turned into a relationship, into the New Orleans camp, into
right.
him doing an art piece, and a bunch of other stuff that we've done together. But it's also turned into the youth that he brings.
Amazing.
Was just talking to one of them today that was like, yeah, I was at the New Orleans camp.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was like,
As a youth.
It's
I was
amazing.
attending, I was sitting there with you, and he's like, now I've been at the last few camps, like doing
Part of
art
it.
presentations.
So
Yeah. So,
So
amazing.
like, it's dope to see those evolutions and relationships build, and also see the youth that are coming and evolving with the camp
Right.
and taking up leadership roles.
Yes. Yes.
Like,
Come
they
on.
are building in that way.
So great.
We're seeing the evolution of the youth, of volunteers, of the camp as a whole. Like, that excites me.
I do want to talk about the production aspect of the Know Your Rights Camp, right? Because, that was maybe because I started, in my career on what people mostly would know, like a marketing team, also known as like the street team. For San Francisco, we were not called that. We were called the party crew, but it's the same thing. It's the marketing team, right?
Right,
We're on the
right.
ground and we're handling it. So part of this is events. Actually, a big part of
Event
the camp.
production.
This is an event production.
Right.
So how important is event production here? And everyone we know comes from event production, and why is that important? I mean, obviously, Tone, who we talked to later on, really we're going to talk to him about like how important it is to set up. Obviously my mentor, Ray, who's also a volunteer part of the Know Your Rights Camp, they come from that world of big shows. We're talking about some of the biggest shows in the country. How similar is it to, I guess, creating a camp? How much work goes behind this?
The behind the scenes work of the teams is incredible. When you show up and come to a camp, it feels like an event, and it's like, oh man,
Yes.
this is incredible.
Yeah.
You never have the appreciation for the logistics that go into the behind the
Yes.
scenes.
Yes.
Everything from all right, where are we going to have the camp?
Right.
Are we going to have the venue? Do we have insurance for it?
Right.
Who's doing the catering?
The lighting.
The
audio.
The lighting.
Josie, right.
Audio. Who has the chairs?
Right.
Do we need tablecloths for the tables?
Right.
Hey, do we have the mics?
Right.
Where are the backpacks being shipped to?
Where are the
Right.
children going to enter
Where-
from?
Right.
Everything. Do we have a storage? Like,
Right.
who's getting what wristbands and why?
Right.
Like, those are all things that, like, they don't seem like big things, but all of those things add up into a massive workload
Yes.
that people have to do and have to do it at a high level, or it just doesn't work.
Oh, this is high level. We're not talking about.
This
yeah.
isn't light. This is
And-
high level.
And then you have to think about going out and recruiting organizations and finding youth.
Oh, right.
And because we're dealing with minors, we need to make sure we have the right waivers in place. We're taking the right,
Right.
safety
We're
precautions,
vetting everybody that comes into the building.
background checks.
Oh yeah. It's
Like,
a lot.
we want to make sure everybody's safe so they can have a great experience.
Sure.
And also so we can create an environment that they feel is like, that they feel is for them,
Right.
that they can open up and hopefully receive and build in.
Right.
Like, to me, that becomes the most important piece. And all of the logistics and planning and all of that behind the scenes is to create that opportunity
Yeah.
for, if it's one youth that walks out
Yep.
and is like, you know what, I have a different perspective of how this future looks. Who knows where that one perspective change goes?
Mm-hmm.
So we hope we have many more of those.
Right.
But all of that work is for that one opportunity.
That one, hoping for that one opportunity. I know we're getting close to wrapping up, but I want to talk a little bit, not just about Know Your Rights Camp, this is our first baby. Sorry, baby cat. But this really is our first baby before we decide to have a baby. Can you talk really quick about the different things that we have going on for people who are just tuning in, who don't know too much about the Know Your Rights Camp? They've just heard about it, but they don't really know. Obviously, we have our marquee event, which is what we're doing right now in
Youth
Houston. We go from city to city. We have youth in attendance where, we have a bunch of workshops going over, different really important topics that we need to have, a conversation about that you already talked about, Colin. But we just released our Know Your Rights Camp app. Can you talk about the other things that we got going on in addition to the Autopsy initiative as well?
Absolutely. So we have our Know Your Rights Camp, which are one-day camps for youth. Target demo is 13 to 18 for those, so middle school and high school. The Autopsy initiative is another program that we've launched that's had significant impact. And we offer free second autopsies to any members or families of loved ones who have been killed in a police-related death. So when we think about second autopsies, a prominent one that we can think of was George Floyd. They tried to say that he died from drug abuse and I think a couple other things, but it was the second autopsy that revealed he died from asphyxiation. So it completely changes the dynamic of how the families can seek justice and also how they can get closure and clarity on what actually happened.
Right.
Which allows them to grieve, allows them to process it. But the issue with that is autopsies cost approximately $10,000.
Right.
So most families can't afford them, and most attorneys won't take on cases unless they know what the cause of death was.
Oh.
So
wow.
it becomes a significant barrier that families have to get over.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make sure that we opened up that opportunity for them. In the first, call it 18 months, we've done over 60 autopsies.
Wow. Yep.
That team is continuing to grow and build. So incredible work there. Speaking of the Know Your Rights Camp app, we
Right.
have our digital team
Right.
who is working on that. They're also building the Know Your Rights Camp podcast that launched this year.
Amazing.
They've been doing amazing work there. They will be here this weekend.
Right.
And in thinking about the digital app or the Know Your Rights Camp app, part of the reason we launched that was we had a partnership with White and Case where they gave us pro bono hours and work. and helped us build out all of the state's traffic laws and all of the state's protest rights. And all of that is in the app.
And White and Case is a law firm.
White and Case is a law firm. So you can go into the app, you can compare traffic laws state by
amazing.
state.
Download
You
it.
can
It's
grow-
free.
You can compare protest rights state by state. It'll give you a breakdown.
Right.
So again, we want to make sure that we're giving tools to the community to allow them to move as effectively as possible so that they can be successful.
I also want to add on the website on knowyourrightscamp.org, we have different educational tools, right? So, you know, your show, Colin, in black and white, right, on Netflix, we have a curriculum for it, right? Great activities in there, just great comprehension of how to approach the show, maybe some interesting questions to ask your family, ask your friends, and to have an important dialogue. So, you know, that, and it's educational, right? The information on there, I just love it. And it has activities for teachers that they can implement in classrooms. We also have the Know Your Rights, Colin Kaepernick, really political education. And what does that look like? What does that mean when we say that? You know, and just understanding, you know, society and the changes that could happen. What's the actual language for change to happen? What needs to happen? So all this information is on the website. It is free. Again, it is a labor of love. We want you to have it. We don't want to hold it for ourselves, right? So all that educational, you know, information and resources up there for you as well. So we keep you up to date where we're going. Also on our socials, make sure you let us know what city we should go to next.
At Your Rights Camp.
Yeah, let us know. And we want to be there. We want to get there.
And also let us know what programs you think would be beneficial to the community.
Right.
Like, we are constantly looking for ways to become better, the
Yes.
ways to create better programs, new programs, and better serve the community. So if there are things that you aren't able to find or you think would be a valuable resource for you,
Right.
let us know. That may turn into a program in the future, or it may help us find resources that already exist and we can help distribute those better.
And I did just want to say that now that I have both co-founders here of the Know Your Rights Camp,
Wait, you know, we've never talked
I know
together
So this
in
is great.
public, and we have to do this for the Know Your Rights Camp podcast.
I know, and
just
that's
so
why they
you
keep
know.
flagging us. So that's why I
Oh,
want to
that is
say
true.
this.
Yeah,
Yes,
we have to do this
Oh.
we have to do this for the Know Your Rights
Yeah.
Camp podcast.
They keep looking over here like, hey, we're trying to grab them. But I do want to say thank you guys both for starting the Know Your Rights Camp, for all the work you've done for the camp and continue to do. Like, they don't do this for themselves. They do this for the community. You guys do this for the community. And just you guys continue to do the work, great work. And it's never about yourselves. You never want to toot your own horn. But we're patting you guys on the back today.
Come here, Katrina. Are you tired yet, Katrina?
My feet hurt. I don't know if you've noticed. I've been shifting
no, I'm
foot to
just
foot.
saying with the journey of Know Your Rights
Oh,
Camp.
absolutely. What?
I
There's
just
no-
want to make
there's
sure
nothing
that you're
to be
in it.
tired
I just want to
about.
know if you're going to stand in it or you're going to hide behind your to-do list. I need to know, are you 10 toes down?
I'm 10 toes
Okay,
down
all right.
in the to-do
Just wanna know.
list.
I don't see a notebook or a to-do list
You know
anywhere
what?
in
There's
sight.
no space. I had to hold your mic in my other hand at first.
Okay, so we still have more.
Yeah, look,
Are
this-
we
look
missing
at those
anything?
boxes there.
Oh wait, no, Katrina, we have to be toxic with Colin in order for this to go
Colin,
viral.
who is your favorite person on the Nessa Off Air podcast? Don't say Tone. Go.
You got to be. This has to be.
Tone catches the most strays on the podcast.
And he's so nice.
I think they're calling him. We'll give him an out. I think they're
Okay,
calling
wait,
him.
Colin. I think in order for this to go viral, you have to tell us.
Did you background check Nessa before you guys got together?
Absolutely.
Wait, one more. Are you still working out?
Of course.
Oh,
What
well,
kind
you
of
know,
question is
because
that?
you know, people don't know that you still train every single morning at
Right.
4:30, and it really bothers me because that alarm clock wakes me up. All right, so I'm grumpy every morning.
I hear it. I know she is.
Every morning. I don't think you understand.
Can I give you a simple solution?
Don't even say something smart. What?
Just get up and work out too.
All right, we still got more.
More stuff to do, more camp to go through.
More
We're excited.
conversations. Please enjoy this time behind the scenes. Know Your Rights Camp, the Nessa Off Air edition.
Let's go.
Okay, so we're actually keeping up with everything that's happening before the actual camp. The day before the camp and actually leading up to it is really, really important. You have a sense of what to expect. I actually was just talking to one of our volunteers, one of our amazing volunteers, Mad, and she was telling me about the waivers that are rolling in the day before the camp and probably on the day of the camp, which can be very stressful, to be honest, right?
Pre-camp is always the most stressful, but it always has such a great payoff because by the time camp rolls around and the kids start coming in, it's just so amazing.
Well, I mean, it's the best part, you know, and also we get to be around each other. This is definitely the calm before the storm. So it's
Absolutely.
lots of fun, lots of giggles, lots of laughing,
And a lot of work.
a lot of work. And we're really thankful because
Oh, Nessa.
our program director, Asani Myers, who has been working nonstop around the clock. Katrina, we didn't even plan this. You can't just run off. In case you're listening right now, Katrina just ran off
Here's
to
Asani,
grab
guys.
Asani Myers, our program director for Know Your Rights Camp, who has been working nonstop around the clock to make sure that this will be another successful
Asani,
camp.
we love you, by the way.
We absolutely love you
I
because
love y'all too, for real.
the patience that you have, the resilience that you have to make sure everything is in place and really doing everything that we can to be prepared is immaculate. So thank you so much, Asani, for your hard work. So what are some qualities that you look for when it comes to our volunteers? Because everyone here is a volunteer. We don't hire an outside company to come put anything up. We're not,
Right.
everything is in-house. Every single person that you will see, we know personally they are family to us. So what qualities are important for you as you are pre-planning for the camp?
So one of the things is people who have a heart for service. Like, you know, when you think about folks who are, you know, just in the workspace, and it's funny because this morning we did a activity and we called it Know Your Purpose. And we really talked about what are the things that you feel you contribute to your family or to your workspace. And the interesting thing was a lot of us contribute service. And so I think that that's really important because in this space we get tired. Like,
Right.
It's a lot of work. We
Yes.
gotta run around. We may be up till 2 or 3 a.m. But the thing that continues to drive us is that we all have a heart and a passion for service.
And you do it flawlessly.
Oh,
Effortlessly. It always
Absolutely.
seems that way.
So much grace behind everything that you do. So
oh really? Look.
it is. Okay, so out of all the volunteers, who's your favorite? I'm kidding. We're kidding. Okay. Wait, you see Footy,
It's Footy.
who's doing the sound right now. She's making sure that the audio's picking up in this podcast right now where we're talking about it. But Asani, I know everyone's so excited for you. This is your first camp
My
to be
first
here.
camp.
This is your, and we just,
Threw you right in. We threw you right in. And you know
'Cause
what,
you
Nessa?
are leading this camp.
That's
we
right.
believe in you, and you are remarkable. And just your previous work and your passion for the camp and really just being in alignment with what we believe in has been remarkable. And we trust you.
Thank you for that trust. It really does mean a lot, and it helps me to do the things that I do a lot easier. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Houston, we got a solution.
Yes. Thank you so much, Asani. And you know
Yes.
what?
Of course,
Nessa,
of course.
here's our other senior program director.
Yes,
His
yes.
His name is Tom.
Yes.
Here you go. Thank you, Asani.
This
please.
dual team, they're amazing. Right now, if you are just listening, you don't know what we're actually pointing at. We're pointing at Asani, who just walked off, and right now, here is Tone, also known as Tony, also known as DJ Tone Deaf, but also known as my brother, but somebody who is clearly the foundation of the Know Your Rights camp with Colin, because
No pressure.
no pressure at all, but his hard work has been remarkable. Now, Tone has been there since the inception of Know Your Rights Camp. He is our senior program director at the Know Your Rights Camp and has...
Senior Director of Community Engagement.
Whoa.
Okay, let's add
You
more
know who you can blame for
respect
that?
right
You
now.
can blame me for that because I wrote senior director. Clearly, I don't pay any attention to
But
Tone.
also, you don't know your man.
Yeah,
That's
clearly,
what this
clearly.
means right now.
By the way, this
But-
is
but who-
Tone.
who pays
this
it?
is Tone. This is Tone. If anyone was wondering who
Yes.
it's who gets the most grief out of our podcast, this is him. So all the Tone Hive, Tone Army, Tone fans,
Yes.
this is your guy.
This is
Get
Tone.
my back, y'all. Come on.
They
Help
have
me
it.
out.
They have it, Tone.
We're really, really happy that obviously you're here today, Tone, because just so much work goes into the camp. So what would you say is the most stressful part leading up to the camp?
I I mean, I think in events in general, the only thing that you can count on is that you can't count on anything sometimes. You know,
Ooh,
there's
yeah.
always going to be an ebb and flow and things that happen that are not going to be planned. So
Right.
we try to put as many contingency plans in as possible, kind of plan for things that may not go your way or may come out, you know, not as expected. So that kind of is a little bit of stress where you just have a little bit of anxiety when you just don't know.
Right.
You don't know what you don't know. Day of. For me, is always just making sure the youth come out. You know, we
Yeah.
do a lot of planning. We do a lot of work. We put a lot of time, consideration,
Yeah.
love,
Oh, yes.
dedication, all the passion that the people volunteering here put together for the young people, and we really want them to absorb it and take it in, and we just want them to show up. You know,
Yeah.
it's a Saturday.
Right.
It's early in the morning.
Right and
Yes, it
early.
is.
I just think back of when I was a young person, many
Yeah.
years ago. It's like Saturday morning, 7:30. I got to be somewhere. It could be tough, but
Yeah.
I think we all know that every young person that comes out here and sees it and experiences it knows that it's well worth their time, and you know, it's an amazing day that I think that everyone should see.
Yeah. What would you say are the moving parts behind the scenes? I know there's a lot, but off top, what would you say some of the moving parts that are really important that they line up at some point in order for this camp to be successful?
I mean, there's a lot of things that happen in order to make an event successful. So there's everything from ground transportation, volunteer coordination, scheduling,
Right.
Getting a storage, travel.
Right.
You know, then you have VIPs or special guests that might want to come out. Then you have folks that are minors, or maybe they want to bring family members out, or they have guests that want to invite. And then you have your presenters. We have to
Right.
coordinate all the different, you know, presentations,
Right.
and coordinate their schedules to make sure they can come here and do a rehearsal on the day before,
Right.
and then the day of, and then
Right.
there's different levels of access. There's security.
Right.
There's you know, there's the list
That's
goes
a
on
lot.
and on.
That's just
And-
some of it.
Well, then there's your media team, which is, you know, what we're
Right.
doing right now. You know, the content capture.
Right.
There's the venue, talking to the
Yeah.
folks at the venue.
This is
so.
a full-on production,
And he's
I
not even done
at all.
He could keep
And
saying
I
more
s-
things.
I say that because, well, for the people who do know, then you know how much work this is. But for people who don't know, who don't work in event planning, or they don't know what really happens in this world, it is nonstop work, months on months on months of planning. This doesn't happen in a few weeks. It doesn't happen in a couple of days. Now, can we pull it off? Yes,
know we can.
because Tone has made magic happen at the last
But
minute.
do we like to do that?
No.
No. We
You-
like to have more planning and
Absolutely.
more time.
So-
And I think that in the planning period, one thing I do want to mention is just when we come out to communities, we want to make sure we connect with the
Yes.
grassroots organizers, with the communities that do this work day in and day out in their
Right.
communities. You know, we as an organization, we travel from city to city, but what we like to do is we want to make sure that we amplify the work that's already being done.
Right.
Because it's being done here.
Absolutely.
There's support, there's love, and there's people
Right.
doing the community work here. And what we hope to do with our camp is to bring more people together, amplify the work that's already being done,
Right.
but also, you know, reinvigorate our base and kind of learn and share and, you know, build with
Yeah.
one another.
How does the day of the camp look like?
Day of the camp. So call time is typically about 5 a.m.
Right.
You know, so you're
That's a
probably-
late start, but let's be kind to the viewers. 5 a.m.
Yeah, I mean, we've started as early as 4 a.m. before.
Oh,
There's
yes.
days where but we've learned.
We've learned.
We've learned and we've evolved and we've done better
Yes.
to make sure that, you know, rest is essential. Sleep is essential.
Absolutely,
We
for
have
sure.
to, you know, live by the tenets that we teach, right?
Yeah.
You have the right to be healthy. So sleep is part of health.
Yes.
Sleep is.
And, you know, rest in,
Yep.
and, you know, self-care. So just learning all those things and kind of implementing those things, you know, we have tried to do our best to get a head start on the planning process so that we're not stressed out and staying up all night, not sleeping.
And
Now-
we've done that many times.
now,
Yes, we
now
have.
don't ask me
24
how much
hours.
I've slept this
Right.
week. Don't ask me.
I know.
But
Okay, so let's go back to how the day of the camp looks like. 5 a.m., that is call time. That's when we're all meeting as far as the volunteers who are here to meet, to have breakfast,
Yep.
and then we start our day.
so I've chartered 2 55-passenger buses. So that's part of the process, right? We have to get our volunteers here. How do you get 100 people
Right.
to one place? You don't Uber everybody.
Right.
You know, so.
Let's be efficient,
You
baby.
don't lift them. You don't Uber.
And
you
part
don't
of
do
it's
any
the,
of that.
camaraderie of everyone being together.
Yes.
Having that moment, getting ready for the day, you know. So 5 a.m. call, 5:30, everyone's loaded on the bus. It's, the venue, calculating how far away it is, about 20, 30 minutes. We get here at 6 a.m. There's the volunteer breakfast and staff breakfast.
Yep.
So caterers got here at 4:30, to get
Yep.
set up.
So that means you got here at 4:30 to receive the caterers.
Me or a representative of our team.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
depending, on what's
The
going on.
youth come in for breakfast.
So, the volunteers do the breakfast, and then we wrap up breakfast around 6:45 or 7 a.m. We
Yep.
get in positions, get all volunteers set up to open doors to the
Yep.
public. So
Yep.
before we open doors, we got to cue our walk-in videos. We got to get
Mm-hmm.
our DJ set. We got to make sure all our volunteers are where they're
Oh,
supposed
because
to
it's
be.
a party.
Exciting. It's
It's a
getting
party when you
exciting.
come in. It's
Yes.
so much fun.
So we have our students and youth lined up outside. We do the registration process, get them in for their breakfast now.
Mm-hmm.
So as part of like our homage to the Black Panther movement and the
Mm-hmm.
free breakfast program, we provide all the young people here with breakfast for the day, snacks throughout the day. After breakfast, we kind of wrap that up about 8:45, and then we have the DJs, our wonderful DJs from everywhere from the Lower East Side Girls Club to our own staff.
Yep.
Start encouraging folks to come in.
Yep.
And then we start the programming at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then lunch on site, which is a party as well.
Oh,
Definitely a
So,
party.
Yeah. Speakers, lunch,
Yep.
speakers.
Yep.
And then wrap the day around 4 o'clock. We do dismissals.
Yep.
Everyone gets shoes, backpacks, student
Right.
success packs, a take-home dinner.
Yeah.
And Ben and Jerry's ice cream at the end, a nice sweet little dessert. And,
Yeah.
and speaking of camp logistics,
Yep.
we
and
got we got more
okay.
going on over
okay,
here.
there's more. There something may
yeah.
fall over right now. If you're listening to the podcast, let me give you a live report right now. So as we're preparing, remember, this is the day before the camp. We are loading and unloading different things. One of our amazing
right.
speakers, B. Mike, actually phenomenal artist, phenomenal visionary. B. Mike is like incredible. And he has an incredible studio in New Orleans. That's actually where we met B. Mike. And he is loading a bunch of items that he's going to need for his presentation because B. Mike, he is so popular every time he comes to a Know Your Rights camp. Everyone loves B. Mike's presentation. It is really remarkable to see the power of art and what it can do and how revolutionary art is. So that is what B. Mike's all about. So again, if you are watching, you just saw B. Mike's team loading different things in as they prepare for their presentation. If you're listening to the podcast, I just wanted to paint out the picture a little bit so that you understood why everybody was kind of like making loud noises randomly. But this is also part of the planning the day before, not planning, the setup
Yes.
the day before.
Right.
'cause, Again, the plan happened
Everything
a
should
long
have
time ago.
planned.
But that
And-
is, it's work.
We're always looking to evolve and kind of like do new things. So this Know Your Rights camp, we're going to be doing live painting during the show. That's a surprise to Nessa. She didn't even know about
did
this.
not know that.
She didn't
This
even know
is-
about this.
Breaking news
Wow.
right now. Right now. I'm
World
just
premiere.
Yes. And we need a funk flex bomb right now. Right? Okay, so that's going to be really, really cool. I'm always excited about the art portion that B. Mike leads. I mean, it is so inspirational. And to see how art connects with the youth, I think is really, really special. Which, again, if you're just listening right now, wonderful. I'll try my best to describe everything. But you'll have to see the visuals because
Yeah,
it really
for sure.
is remarkable.
And just the full circle moment, like, starting in New York, the Lower East Side Girls Club attended a Know Your Rights camp.
Right.
And then now they're ambassadors with this. They
Right.
DJ with this. They help host the stage.
Right.
Another full circle moment. Those are Mike's, B. Mike's.
Yeah.
Those are B. Mike's youth that he works with, Eternal Seeds, with his nonprofit.
Right.
They attended a camp in New Orleans when we were
That's
there.
right.
And now they're part of his program. And now they're coming back
That's
to
right.
give back and volunteer.
great.
So I think you guys were talking about like some special moments and like what we do and why we do it.
Yep.
For me, I think that like obviously we do this for the youth and for the communities, but selfishly, I feel very full when I leave the camps. I feel recharged.
Yep.
I feel energized. The youth have a certain energy to them, and it just makes me feel very fulfilled and happy.
Yeah, that's great.
So a lot of full
Inspired.
circle. Inspired. That's it. Inspired.
Inspired.
Leaving inspired.
That's right.
Well,
So.
that's amazing, and I know, Tony, you got to run off.
I
the
do.
fact that we even had you this long is a miracle.
I know, right now.
I got a lot of
feel
people staring at me right
yeah,
now.
and I feel like things might be falling apart without you. So I know you have to go attend to that, and I know we're going to be talking to a speaker real
Yeah.
soon who's part of the Know Your Rights camp.
Yeah.
And Dr. Milo.
Yeah, let's go grab some speakers and let's find some people and talk to them too.
Yeah, let's see where Dr. Milo. I just saw him right now. He's basically our in-house psychologist.
Yeah, maybe we'll walk
who
that way.
discusses mental health and the importance of taking care of your health and really understanding the importance of joy, which I think really resonates with the youth. They want to be joyful and
Absolutely.
be filled with happiness. So Dr. Milo has shared so many gems and tools in how to achieve that. So we're lucky to have Dr. Milo, who has come out to the camps and really shared his experience with the team. So Tone,
Thank you so much, sir.
we're kicking you off,
Okay.
I'll take this.
I will.
We'll
I will.
take the
I'll be out of
mic.
here. Yep.
and we will
Getting a
bring.
phone call. So.
Okay,
Okay, perfect timing.
timing.
Nessa, you're right. Actually, let's go grab Dr. Milo now. Let's go talk to him.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so Dr. Milo, we found you. Come
Come
on
on,
in.
come
we
on.
changed the entire location just for you.
Just for you,
in
sir.
case you're
Man,
listening to the podcast, we are now in a different part of the Know Your Rights camp location.
Yes.
Okay, so Dr. Milo, our in-house
Absolutely.
resident, incredible person, our friend, with somebody we consider family, but really our resident psychologist.
Oh man, thank you. For
Literally,
Right.
we love you. Thank you for being a part of the Know Your Rights camp. And you're here, and when you have your workshop where you talk about mental health, it is so important. Why is it important to teach the youth about their mental health and ways to protect it?
Yes. Well, first of all, there's no health without mental health, and we all have the right to be healthy. So, in order for us to not just protect our mental health, we actually want to take steps to improve it, right? So, it's not just about being resilient. We actually want to pursue joy. And as I think we can all agree, life is hard, right?
yes.
So, life being hard, we want to make sure we maintain the resilience through that difficulty, but again, actually pursue happiness and joy.
What do you find resonates the most to the youth? Like when you're on that stage and you see them react one way or another, which part of your workshop do you feel connects with them the most? Is it the ice cream talk? Is it the your love for ice cream and why people should feel that joy?
Listen, if you're watching this, you see I'm wearing a Ben & Jerry's shirt. If you're not watching, let me tell you, I'm wearing my favorite ice cream. Shout out to Ben & Jerry's. I think the part that resonates probably the most is the ice cream. I have this thing where I say, make sure that you know what your ice cream is. In the literal sense, it could be ice cream, but just something that brings you joy. And then the other piece I think really helps people feel seen. And I think, Nessa, you're a fan of this too, correct me if I'm wrong, but I ask people to name the 5 things that they love.
Absolutely.
Right, and I
Love
kind of
this.
do it as a pop quiz for the kids, and they're like, "Oh man, I hate pop quizzes," and da da da. But at the end, I say, if I ask you to name the 5 things that you love, how long would it take you to name yourself? And that is just like, whoa, all this
Oh, it's
stuff,
so
right?
good.
But the beauty of that is that we actually have an opportunity to see ourselves in a new way, and I think we feel validated, like, you know what? I do need to love myself more. Or you know what? I do actually really love myself. And I want to make sure I can continue to love myself.
Do you remember how many Know Your Rights camps that you've been to? Because you started off as a volunteer.
I did. I started off in Miami. Then we went Miami, Baltimore, Atlanta, LA.
No, Vegas.
No, Vegas,
And
LA.
then
So
LA.
6.
Yeah.
This is my
6.
6th camp.
And how many have you spoken at?
4 now, 3 or 4. I think I started in Miami. You actually gave me Colin's mic and like, hey, you're gonna do a meditation of mindfulness right
That's
now.
right.
It's like, hi, my name's Milo.
Yeah.
Happy to
Dr.
do that.
Dr. Milo, come on.
First
My
off,
bad.
Dr.
excuse
Milo,
you.
please.
Excuse you. You earned that.
I did a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes, you did.
A lot of
Dr.
school for that.
Milo.
Come on, Dr.
Way
Milo.
too lit. Yeah, 10 years, 4 undergrad, 5 grad school, a year
Wow.
of internship, 2.5 years doing a postdoctoral fellowship and getting licensed. So,
I went to school for 8 years, and I do not have anything close to a doctorate. So
She
shout
barely
out
graduated.
to you. Hey, but I did. But I did. I got
You did.
that expensive piece of paper on my wall. All right.
Yeah. I get it. But Dr. Milo, it is such a pleasure to have you at the camp because I feel your engagement with the youth is very special because you're so mindful. You take the time to really understand how people are feeling. You take the time to look at somebody, you really understand, and you hear somebody out, but you could read the room, right? So I've seen you walk up to a group of kids and just say, hey, how are you feeling? And just having a natural conversation. And I feel like that means so much. And knowing that you're a doctor on top of it, it's just special. And I think it's important, the emphasis of mental health. And it should be celebrated.
That's right.
And it's okay if you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling, your regular self or whatever it may be that might be a little concerning. It's okay to say, hey, what can I do to feel better, Dr. Milo, or whoever it is in your life? What are some resources that I can take advantage of to better myself?
Yeah, and I think the beauty of it is that we all want to be seen. We all want to be validated.
Yeah.
We can be an amazing radio personality and TV conglomerate that you are and everything. And we can also be a licensed psychologist who want to be seen and validated. And I'll be very honest, that's like me going to therapy was one of the best things that I ever did in my life. It made me a better psychologist and a better husband as well. But I think just being able to make that natural and authentic connection with people, that's what life's all about.
That's great.
We are going to look forward
Absolutely.
to your workshop focusing on mental health. One of the many workshops that we have at the Know Your Rights Camp. Dr. Milo, we love you.
I
We
love you
appreciate you. And yes, there will be Colin's ice cream with Ben and Jerry's at the end of the camp, as we always do. So you will get your
in front of
dose.
the kids in line. I may cut in front of the kids in line. I'm sorry about that.
Sorry. Okay. Well, thank you so much,
so much.
Dr. Milo. Katrina, where are we headed to
We
next?
have actually another one of our speakers turned volunteers. We have Sean Tory.
Yes, Sean, step
come
in.
here.
Step in.
This
Step
is for you,
in.
sir. Have a
What's
So,
up?
stance.
going
Sean,
on?
I feel like we've known him for a very long time because he's literally Colin's brother. They
Yes.
go all the way back.
Yep.
Way back.
And we met Sean when he was our educational speaker in Vegas.
Right, 3 camps ago.
3 camps. Oh my gosh.
3
Can you believe it?
camps ago. Can't believe
So
it.
when he was there, and by the way, it wasn't even a question. I remember Colin just thinking about it. He was incredible. I'm talking like as if you're not here. By the way, if you're listening to podcasts right now, we are talking to Sean Tory, who is a phenomenal educator, a phenomenal person who knows how to inspire somebody to really just make their dreams come true. And you changed the game. And since then, when you were just a guest speaker, you're now with us forever.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love it. I can't thank you guys enough, man. I love y'all, man.
Where does your passion come from and your love to make sure that, the youth have access to education and they really have the information that they need?
Whoa. One Lord above. That starts there. But really, it was because of this youth group that I joined when I was in high school. I actually joined the fraternity later. So my fraternity is Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated. There was a youth group called the Alpha Amenities of Tomorrow. And so I joined when I was like 15 and literally changed my life forever. Like took me out the country my first, like 17 to step. Like me just stepping. And
Show
that's,
us.
I'm
Show us
retired.
right
I'm
now.
retired.
Yeah.
I'm retired. Ask Colin, he knows. I used to really get down. But that's really where it started for me. And honestly, it was just something, it was like other younger kids was like, man, we want to step like him. So I was just teaching them. I would come back home during the summers, during break from college and teaching until I finally come back home after graduating. And I stuck with it. That's where mentoring started for me. I just loved it. And
Oh,
to
it
be here,
shows.
yeah.
You know how to change lives.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, it is remarkable to see. I'm just like, wow. Sean is amazing.
When we went to Vegas, Sean was our guy. Like
He's a superstar.
We were talking about
I
the
can't
setup
even
and
explain
everything.
it. Yes.
We couldn't have done anything in Vegas without having Sean there.
That's right.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And I think that's also the power of the Know Your Rights Camp is that when we go to a city, we make sure to tap in with local organizations and really people have been doing the work for a very long time. So without their assistance and guidance, there is no Know Your Rights Camp in that city. It's not going to happen without the community. So Sean, but since then we've just taken you on the road.
And I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep coming. I got y'all.
So when did you and Colin first meet? Because I
Oh,
do want to
Lord.
give I want to give some background in your relationship with Colin and how it started way long before any of us.
It started before all that. So I met him in fall of 2009. I was a freshman. Colin was a junior, so he was ahead of me, and we met at a party because I didn't know it at the time. He was an interest for Kappa Alpha Psi for my boy. His dean, I went to high school with, and so introduced me, and I'm like, oh, what's up, cool. And then we all started just hanging.
And where
out with
was
each
this
other
at?
At the University of Nevada, Reno, the University of Nevada.
Yes.
in Reno.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Wolf Pack. But that's where we met, and literally I would stay during the summer. Everyone would go home, so they would stay because they play football.
Right.
And we would kick it, go to Lake Tahoe, be at the library.
Yeah.
And literally, I was always at Colin's house. It was great. We had a great time in college. I got stories.
Is there something about Colin that remains the same from then that you see now at the camp?
He is still the same humble, chill dude he always has been.
Yeah.
So, and knowledgeable too. That's the thing that people, if you really talk to him,
Right.
the boy is smart.
Absolutely.
Beyond belief. A lot of people did not know about him. Like he won a city award from Reno. And the boy had a 3.7. I was like, you had a 3 point? I knew you was smart.
Yeah. Colin,
Colin was
extremely.
smart.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect that from the star quarterback. But that's what, he was smart like that. And I think he had like a business degree or something like
Yep.
that. But yeah, like he's super humble dude. And I think I told this story before, but I was super broke in college. And he would always get Panda. He would always get, before he went vegan, he would
Yeah.
get Panda. And
Panda Express,
Panda
right?
Express.
Okay, Panda Express, okay.
Panda Express. He would leave. He would like, I don't want this. One day he was like, I don't want this, but I was like, oh, I'll take that from you. And he saw I didn't tell him I was struggling. So once a week he'd buy me Panda. Like, yeah,
That's
that's
so Colin.
that's
He just
typical
looks out.
Colin. Yeah, and I never got a chance to thank him until we came back from the Know Your Rights camp.
Yeah.
Because it was just a guy that you didn't go tell your boy you
Oh,
struggling.
for sure.
But yeah,
Colin's just
he's a good great spirit, man.
and you know what? I love hearing this because you knew him before all of us.
Yeah.
And so to hear that the core foundation of Colin is still the same.
Right.
Still the same. dude.
Still just completely selfless, willing to do anything and everything for anybody else.
Will.
Absolutely. So it makes me happy. And more importantly, I love seeing the both of you hanging out.
Thank you,
It is
man. It
really,
does
really
feel great.
special. And you know what? It feels like Colin gets in a like really kind of, I don't know, he's almost like a kid again with
Yeah,
you.
man.
You guys have this connection and it's so nice. And I feel like that connection is important, especially when we see it at the camp. The joy that, we just spoke about with Dr. Milo,
Yeah.
who also, he talks about mental health. Joy is really important. And that's another thing that we really pride on at Know Your Rights Camp is sharing that joy with everybody else. And Sean, you bring so much joy to
man.
everybody.
Dude.
Man,
Thank
you
y'all, man.
will
Come on.
witness
Lights
it.
up a room
Yes.
right here.
Oh, listen,
Absolutely.
we gonna get it popping, and I know Colin's gonna come from somewhere. All right, I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't get the games started
It's
in the
coming.
room, but it's coming. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you so much.
We need you all the time. We
got you.
love you. And I look forward to Know Your Rights Camp just because it's like a reunion for all of us to be together. We all fly from different parts of the country, even the world at times when people are that busy to make the time to be here today. So, Sean, we
Thank
love you.
Love you too.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Sean.
y'all. I got a new
course.
activity for y'all too. So I got a new one. So
Ooh.
we're gonna do the one that y'all always see.
Okay.
I got a whole new one.
A new
We are
activity.
ready. We are ready.
We cannot wait to see happen at Know Your Rights Camp, which is in a day. Well,
Yes.
less than a day at this point. So let's go get prepared.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.